Imagine signing a deal so big it rewrites the rules of the music industry. The 1970s weren't just about disco balls and rock anthems. They were the golden age of jaw-dropping record deals. In most lucrative contracts of 1970s music, we're diving into the game-changing agreements that turned music icons into legends. From Stevie Wonder's record-shattering $13 million contract to Elton John's $8 million Rocket Man Payday, these deals didn't just pay the bills, they redefined what it meant to be a superstar. With exclusive stories of creative control, million-dollar advances, and groundbreaking innovations, this video will blow your mind. Ready to uncover the mega money moments that shaped music history? Let's turn the volume up and get started. In 1971, the Rolling Stones redefined what it meant to be rock stars, signing a deal that became a seismic moment in music history. This wasn't just a record contract, it was a statement. The Stones secured what was, at the time, the largest contract ever signed in the industry. More than just the staggering financial sum, the deal granted them something most artists could only dream of: full creative control and ownership of their master recordings. This was a game changer, setting a precedent for millionaire contracts in the music business and empowering artists in ways that had never been seen before. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards didn't just sign a contract, they rewrote the rules of the game. Hot on the heels of this groundbreaking deal came Sticky Fingers, released on April 23, 1971. The album wasn't just another release, it was a cultural event, marking their first studio album after the untimely passing of founding member Brian Jones. It also saw guitarist Mick Taylor taking on a more prominent role in shaping their sound. The result? An album that didn't just climb to the top of the Billboard 200, it stayed there, cementing the Rolling Stones' status as rock legends. From the moment you drop the needle, Sticky Fingers is a masterclass in raw emotion and musical craftsmanship. Tracks like Brown Sugar and Wild Horses have become synonymous with the band's legacy, each carrying its own unique story and vibe. Beyond the music, Sticky Fingers dazzled fans with its iconic album cover, designed by none other than Andy Warhol. Featuring a working zipper that revealed an image underneath, it blurred the lines between music, art, and fashion, leaving an indelible mark on pop culture. Every track on the album contributed to its legendary status, from the soulful grit of Sway to the electrifying jam of Can't You Hear Me Knocking, and the haunting beauty of Moonlight Mile. The album was nothing short of revolutionary. The Rolling Stones didn't just release an album in 1971, they defined an era. By the early 1970s, Neil Diamond had already carved out a name for himself as a songwriter and performer, penning hits for others and releasing albums that showcased his immense talent. But it was his 1972 deal with Columbia Records that elevated him to legendary status. Valued at an unprecedented $4 to $5 million, this contract wasn't just a financial windfall, it was a statement. The deal underscored the growing recognitions of musicians as valuable cultural icons in a rapidly evolving music industry. Neil Diamond wasn't just signing a contract, he was solidifying his place at the forefront of the entertainment world. This groundbreaking deal was a turning point not just for Diamond, but for the entire music industry. According to Rolling Stone, it set a new benchmark for artist compensation, highlighting the increasing demand for seasoned performers who could consistently deliver hits. Just as important, the contract allowed Diamond to maintain creative control over his music. For an artist celebrated for his unique blend of pop and soul-infused storytelling, this was non-negotiable. Neil Diamond was a creator first and foremost, and this deal ensured his art remained his own. With Columbia Records behind him, Diamond embarked on a streak of success that further defined his career. His live double album, Hot August Night, 1972, became a landmark release, capturing the energy and emotion of his electrifying performances. A year later, he released the soundtrack for Jonathan Livingston Seagull, an ambitious project that fused pop music with inspirational and spiritual themes, showcasing his ability to transcend traditional genres. During this era, Diamond singles such as Song Sung Blue topped the charts and cemented his reputation as one of the most beloved artists of his time. His heartfelt lyrics and unforgettable melodies resonated deeply with fans, turning his concert into sold-out spectacles and his albums into bestsellers. Neil Diamond's 1972 contract wasn't just a milestone for him, it was a moment that defined the growing power and prestige of artists in the 1970s. In 1974, Elton John didn't just make headlines, he rewrote them. Instead of releasing music under his own label, Rocket, he struck an $8 million deal with MCA Records, a sum that was practically unheard of at that time. To put the cherry on top of this monumental deal, MCA reportedly took out a $25 million insurance policy on John's life. If that doesn't scream music royalty, what does? The impact of this contract was immediate and explosive. The same year, MCA released Elton John's Greatest Hits, which soared to the #1 spot in both the UK and US charts. The album wasn't just a hit, it was a juggernaut, earning diamond certification from the RIAA with an astounding 17 million copies sold in the United States alone. Elton John's success during this era was staggering. By the mid-1970s, he had already sold 42 million albums and 18 million singles worldwide. In the US, 9 of his 12 albums had surpassed the million sales mark, often by a comfortable margin. His music wasn't just popular, it was omnipresent, a soundtrack for an entire generation. In 1975, Elton and his lyricist partner Bernie Taupin delivered another triumph with Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. The album, an extraordinary musical autobiography, was a hit before it even reached listeners. Retailers snapped up 1.4 million copies in advance, a testament to Elton's superstar status. When it finally dropped, it debuted at #1 on all major US record charts, cementing his place as one of the most influential artists of the decade. Elton John's deal with MCA wasn't just a financial milestone, it was a cultural moment that underscored his reign as the unchallenged rocket man of the 1970s music scene. In 1975, Stevie Wonder shattered all expectations and redefined what it meant to be a music industry powerhouse. With his contract renewal at Motown, he didn't just negotiate, he revolutionized. Armed with high-powered lawyer Johannan Vagoda, Wonder presented Motown president Ewart Abner and chairman Berry Gordy with a list of demands so audacious it left Gordy calling the negotiations the most grueling and nerve-wracking we have ever had. But Stevie Wonder was no ordinary artist. He was Motown's crown jewel, and losing him wasn't an option. The result? A jaw-dropping 7-year contract that promised Wonder a $13 million advance, with the potential to earn up to $37 million if he exceeded his album per year commitment. To sweeten the deal, Wonder secured 20% royalties and full control over his publishing rights. At the time, this was the biggest deal ever signed in the music industry, so monumental that Time magazine noted it outshone the combined contracts of Elton John and Neil Diamond. As Gordy recalled in the Songs in the Key of Life documentary, in those days, $13 million was a lot of money, but I had to do it. There was no way I was going to lose Stevie. Beyond the unprecedented financial terms, the deal granted Wonder something even more valuable: creative freedom. He could work with anyone, anywhere, and had complete veto power over potential singles. When Motown planned a triple-disc greatest hits release, Wonder canceled it entirely, sending all 200,000 printed copies to the incinerator. Even more astonishing, the contract stipulated that Motown couldn't be sold without Wonder's approval, a level of influence that no artist, not even the Beatles or Elvis, ever have wielded. This groundbreaking deal wasn't just a testament to Stevie Wonder's talent, it cemented his status as Motown's supreme artist and a visionary force in music. With his creative reins firmly in hand, Wonder was ready to embark on a legendary era, one that would define not just his career but the very fabric of 1970s music. In 1970, Elektra Records, the brainchild of visionary Jack Holzman, entered a new era when it was sold to Kinney National for $10 million. This wasn't just a business deal, it was the beginning of a transformation that would shape the modern music industry. Recognizing the growing importance of global distribution, Holzman saw the sale as a way to propel Elektra into the international spotlight. Kinney National, under the leadership of Steve Ross, later became Warner Communications, the powerhouse that formed Warner Music Group. The acquisition brought Elektra together with Warner and Atlantic Records under the WEA umbrella, creating a music empire. Elektra's impressive roster featuring iconic artists like The Doors, Judy Collins, and The Stooges was now part of Warner's prestigious catalog, alongside None Such Records, renowned classical and world music selections. It was a merger that enriched Warner's offerings and set the stage for the label's dominance in the industry. Although Holtzman stayed on to lead Elektra until 1973, his 20-year journey in the music business had taken its toll. Ready for a new challenge, he transitioned into a forward-looking role as Warner's senior vice president and chief technologist. Holtzman didn't just leave his mark on music, he became a pioneer in tech, spearheading Warner's ventures into home video, interactive cable systems, and even the adoption of compact discs. His influence extended beyond music, contributing to product planning at Atari, which Warner acquired in 1976. The $10 million deal for Elektra Records was more than a sale. It was the start of an era that combined artistry with technological innovation. Under Holtzman's vision and Warner's leadership, Elektra helped shape the future of music and entertainment, leaving a legacy that endures to this day. If you loved this dive into rockstar history, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more amazing music stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your favorite 1970s artist in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.